faithful Niner Empire. What's good? You know who it is. It's your boy, Jay in the Bay. And I gotta say, when it rains, it pours. Man, that was a tough game. That was definitely a tough game to watch. Um, yeah, that was just a lot of things didn't go our way in that game. That's for sure. But some of the first things that come off the top of my head are the penalties, especially on defense, just killed us, and that was one of my objectives in the game. I was like, hey, we got to keep the penalties down. We had been doing good in the first two games. And then this game, we didn't have a lot of penalties, but they just, we had those defensive pass interferences, and they just killed us. Um, so the penalties hurt. Jimmy G had two turnovers. Uh, the fumble and the interception; those obviously hurt us. Devontae Adams, man, he's just what can you say? He's just a beast, and especially after he took that hit from Jimmy Ward, and he was still able to come back in the game, which I was shocked. I mean, how does he come back in the game? It looked like he was concussed to me, but yeah, I mean, and first, I got to say the Packers played well. The Packers played pretty good. I don't know what Packers team that was because they definitely didn't seem like that Packers team against the they didn't do they didn't look that way against the Detroit Lions. They didn't look that way against the New Orleans Saints. So I don't know what Packers team that was, but they definitely came to play like their life depended on it. That's for sure. Rodgers was good. The Packers, their running game, I think it got over 100 rushing yards. I was kind of surprised by that. Um, I don't know why. In the beginning of the games, I'm one of the biggest, Jimmy G fans out there. You guys know this, Jimmy G, that's my quarterback. But in the beginning of the games, he doesn't. I'm not sure why. Is he nervous? Is the offensive line nervous? I don't get it. But in the beginning of games, Jimmy G doesn't play the same as he does at the end of games. He had a much better second half than he did the first half. I know the Niners couldn't really run the ball. Pretty much the entire game. We couldn't run the ball. That definitely affected the offense. I like that we saw Ayuk more. We saw Debo. Debo's got he's got like steel hands. He made some excellent catches. Kittle got loose, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. The defense needed to make more plays, and the offense we should have taken care of the ball a lot more. Um, but yeah, we we definitely have some work to do. I mean, D'Amico Ryan's. I mean, what can he really do with the corners that are out there right now? I mean, it's we have no secondary. I mean, Ward and Tarter are solid, but at the corner position, there's just not much there. We're in deep trouble with our secondary. That's for sure. There's no doubt about that. I appreciate everyone watching on Jay and the Bay Facebook, Jay and the Bay YouTube. But yeah, this is definitely a tough loss. You know, shout out to Niners. They didn't quit. They continued to fight. But yeah, this was definitely a tough loss. That's for sure. Payo time. I agree with you, man. Heartbreaker. Absolutely. Bryce. Yeah, Bryce is a Packers fan, man. Congratulations, man. The Packers played a hell of a game. That was not the team I was expecting to show up. That wasn't the team that's played, the first two games so far. And I don't know what Packer team that was. Because because y'all played good. The defense played well. It disrupted Jimmy. They were able to get pressure on him, shut down the running game, and you guys just made more plays at the end of the day. Lennon Wolf, yeah, yeah. This is a tough loss to swallow because we were in it. We were definitely in this game, and but as I said in the beginning, it's the penalties, they definitely didn't help. Um, the turnovers didn't help, and we couldn't stop Devontae Adams. But Josh Norman left the game due to injury. K'Wan Williams left the game as well due to injury. So I guess you can only do so much, right? Can only do so much. Um, Redder says, hey, we in the same boat as you, man. We lost too. Packers played a hell of a game, Bryce. You guys earned it. The Packers definitely earned it. And I was thinking when we scored that touchdown, like, man, did we score too soon? Like, but obviously that was the case. That was definitely the case. Shanti Uber says, "Wow, what a game! A good learning lesson. Don't give Aaron Rodgers time on the clock." Yeah, I mean, he only had, what was it, 28 seconds, no timeouts, and he was still able to get the ball down the field. So yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Devontae Adams, he's a beast, man. He is definitely a beast. Libby's world. When it rains, it pours. Definitely. Definitely. It definitely, when it rains, it pours. Redder says you guys have a good chance to beat the Seahawks. Well, we'll see. I don't know. We got to do something with our corners. That's for sure. Definitely have to do something with our corners. Young hitter. What's up, Jay? He says, "What's up, Jay in the Bay? Hope you're having a wonderful night." Man, I was before the Niners lost. Yeah, it was. Yeah, this. And Young hitter also says, "Really tough game for sure." Absolutely. I thought we would win it. I knew we gave Aaron Rodgers time, but I thought, hey, we could pull this out. We can get a stop. But unfortunately, that didn't come to pass. Lynn Wolf says, week 5 we play against you guys, and we're going to try to be a 5-0 team. Yeah, I mean, the Cardinals look good. I know you guys play the Rams next week. That should be an exciting game. Bay Area throwbacks. He says they got to do something about that secondary. Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't know what we can do. I mean, you guys want Richard Sherman? I mean, I don't know. We got to do something. But it's the injury bug is played us again once again. Um, I guess there's only so much you can do, but it just wasn't good enough. We have to be better. Simple as that. Just wasn't good enough. We got to be better. The penalties were disappointing. Um, the turnovers were disappointing. We couldn't run the ball, and the defense, hey, they made a great fourth down stop, but we just didn't make enough plays. Simple as that. We didn't make enough plays. Damian Lee, Jimmy made a comeback. I put this on D'Amico Ryans in the last minute. We need healthy corners. Yeah, and that's not really on D'Amico Ryans. I mean, your two corners, go out of the game, so now you're left with Lenore, rookie, and whatever we get from Lenore that's positive is great. But I mean, how can you expect a rookie cornerback to really play great? He's shown signs, but he's going up against an elite receiver in Devontae Adams. So I mean, you can only expect so much. Emmanuel Mosley, he looked solid. I'm glad that he was back. He made some plays, but we're going to need help. We're going to definitely need to add more corners. That's for sure. Najee Harris. What's up, man? Najee Harris says that's the real Najee Harris. All right, man. Damian Lee says we missed our running game. Absolutely. I mean, Trey Sermon, he definitely, it's one game where he had multiple carries. I wasn't impressed by his performance. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying any of that, but I just wasn't impressed by his performance. And Shanahan didn't really run the ball with any other back. I mean, he ran it with Kyle Juszczyk. I don't understand that. That's not what we use him for. He's obviously he's a blocker in the run game, but and he's good catching the ball. But yeah, I don't understand why we were using, Kyle Juszczyk in the running game. I guess Kyle didn't want to use any other running back besides Trey Sermon. I guess. I mean, I don't know why not, but NYC E 1030. This was definitely a hard loss. Yeah, this was definitely a tough loss. And Bryce, you were right. You were the only person in the chat to pick the Packers, but you guys earned it. You guys played well. I'm not going to give you guys any excuses. The Packers made more plays at the end of the day. They took advantage of our miscues, especially with the penalties, the turnovers, and so credit to the Packers. The 49ers, we do have some work to do. We got to try to get healthy, and we got Seattle next week. Hey Zeus, man, thanks for coming through. Shanti Uber says you just can't blame the secondary. The defensive line couldn't get to Rodgers. And that's a great point. The defensive line, definitely could not really get to Rodgers. You're right about that. And the broadcast had an excellent stat about Aaron Rodgers. It was Aaron Rodgers was 16 of 16, 140 yards passing. And he did that when he threw the ball under 2.5 seconds. So he was 100% when he got rid of the ball in less than 3 seconds. Like that's incredible on his part. But it goes hand in hand. The secondary is banged up. The defensive line couldn't get pressure. Rodgers was getting rid of the ball, very fast. But maybe the corner should play up more. I don't know. Maybe the corner should play closer to the line of scrimmage since Rodgers is getting rid of the ball so fast. Maybe bump and run coverage. But I don't know. Maybe we don't have the corners to do that. That could be, that could be a reason why as well. A lot of blame will go around. Some will say Jimmy. Some will say D'Amico Ryans. The secondary, the D line. So Jesus says too much time left. Yeah, I was thinking that. Hey, maybe that's. But then you can't really worry about that. You only have so many opportunities to get into the end zone, and you have to take those opportunities. You can't really worry about if another team, gets into the end zone or not. You just have to score when you have the opportunity. Yeah, Jesus. Who is this Packers team? I don't know who this Packers team was that played like, man, they like I said, shout out to the Packers. They played well. They played great. They played enough they made more plays. They played well enough to win the game, but I didn't imagine this Packers team, like this defense played pretty well, especially in the first half. They gave up some stuff in the second half, but in the first half, I didn't recognize this Packers defense. They played excellent. And I'm just giving them credit. They deserve it. But, we just couldn't get a rhythm offensively. Like in the first half, nothing was going on. Jimmy was missing throws. Some wide receivers dropped some balls. The offensive line was a little shaky, and especially, in the middle of the offensive line. And we knew that was a weak point for us heading into the season. But, and the turnovers. The turnovers hurt. The penalties. The defensive penalties were, we hadn't seen that this year. So many defensive pass interference, and they really hurt us. They really hurt us. They really flipped the field. But yeah, offensively, we couldn't get really anything going in the first half until the last drive with Trenton Cannon with that kick return. And shout out to him. That was, excellent kick return. But it was close. Um, but yeah, so nah, I didn't cuss, Bryce. I didn't cuss. Let's see. David Renteria, he says go Cards. Jesus says lack of run game. Yeah, I mean, pretty much every one of our running backs was hurt. Raheem Mostert's out. Jeff Wilson Jr. is out. Um, Elijah Mitchell is out. Um, so basically we just had Trey Sermon. I didn't see any other running back run the ball besides Trey Sermon and Juice Check. So I know there were other running backs active, like Trenton Cannon. He was active, but Shanahan, maybe I guess he wasn't comfortable with the running backs that he had, so we didn't run the ball. Trey Sermon was in there. I wasn't impressed with him tonight. Um, I think he can be better, but that wasn't his best game. But the Packers' run defense played well. The Packers' run defense coming into this game had a bottom 5 run defense, and that's the that's the run defense I was expecting to see. And they played much better than that. They played like a top 5 run defense, and they were missing, one of their corners. They were missing Zadarius Smith as well, an edge rusher. So I don't know where this Packers team came from. I don't know. But Blue True says Niners almost won. Too much time left on the clock for Rodgers. Yeah, the defense, couldn't make a play. At the end of the day, Rodgers made plays and the defense couldn't. And we could say it's because of the lack of corners. We could say the lack of pass rush, but it kind of is what it is. Yeah, congrats to your Cardinals, David. 3-0, and you guys play the Rams next week. So NYC says 39 seconds, no timeouts. Yeah. For Roger, and they only needed a field goal. They only needed a field goal, but the defense just couldn't get a stop. The defense just couldn't get a stop. Jesus says, was that a penalty on Ward hit to Adams? No, it wasn't a penalty. It should have been. There definitely was helmet-to-helmet contact. And I was definitely surprised it wasn't a penalty. And then I was even more surprised that Adams came back into the game. I mean, kudos to him. I was not expecting him to come back into the game after he got hit. But he's a baller. There's no doubt. Jesus says teams are picking on DB to get easy flags. Yeah. But that's what you would expect from Rodgers and Adams. I mean, they're both veterans. They're both at the top of, their position. Rodgers is a future Hall of Famer. Adams, he certainly has a trajectory going towards that, but, he's an excellent receiver. He just knows how to get open. He's a top 3, top 5 receiver, no doubt. And the penalties, yeah, the penalties killed us. Penalties definitely killed us. Rams house called it. Rams house said, the Packers would win, and he was right. Rams house says, I thought that Rodgers would move down the field with how much time was left. Yeah. I thought the same thing. I thought he would move down the field, but I was just hoping they would run out of time, and the defense would be able to make a play. So David says that's why I have the Rams winning division. They're a better team, and their secondary is good compared to Cardinals, Niners, and Seahawks. Yeah, the Rams are looking pretty good. They beat the defending Super Bowl champions today. hats off to the Rams. They look pretty good their first 3 games of the season, and they got a NFC West matchup against the Cardinals next week. So that's going to be a hell of a game. David says, as a Cardinals fan, we're losing to the Rams next week. Hey, they play the game. We'll see what happens. Rams House says both the Rams and Niners have unfortunate luck with running back injuries. Yeah, I would definitely agree. And Shanahan's bread and butter is running the ball, controlling the time of possession, and we couldn't do that. We couldn't do that today. Payo Time says, "Hey Jay, sorry that was a hard loss in the closing seconds. Yeah, that was tough. That was definitely tough to watch for sure. Um, yeah, I don't know. In the first half, we couldn't get anything going. Offensively, and that definitely hurt us. We couldn't get anything going in the first half. Um, and I don't really know what changed in the second. Um, but the Niners never quit. They continued to play, but at the end of the day, we just couldn't make enough plays to win the game. Payout Time says that game has a really weird flow to it. Shanti Uber says Kyle Shanahan trusts Kyle Jay to hold on to the ball, maybe. Okay. Let's see. NYC says that stat 16 of 16. He was able to do that because the corners played back. The corners played at least 3 to 5 yards off the ball. That gave Rodgers time and space. No, you're 100% correct. It seemed like when the Niners would play bump and run coverage with the corners, for instance, that play with Lazard in the first quarter, I think Lazard kind of went past K'Wan Williams. And then after that play, I think that was the play that K'Wan Williams got hurt on. That was bump and run coverage, and Lazard ran right past K'Wan, and he had an easy catch. And then, as you mentioned, when the Niners play off the ball, they would just Rodgers would just throw the ball, and the receiver would be open. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we couldn't play bump and run coverage because their wide receivers would just run past us. So it's almost like damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you play back, Rodgers throws the ball. If you play up, and the pass rush couldn't get to Rodgers, and he would just throw over the top. And I was expecting more from the pass rush. Very disappointing. I know we got 1 sack, but obviously we needed more than that. Let's see. Jesus says at least it was exciting and entertaining game. I would say it's great that the Niners continue to fight. They didn't give up. Um, we had a great end to the first half. We followed that up with a touchdown at the beginning of the second half, and we were only down 3 points. But you know, um, the season isn't over. We are 2-1, but that one, I just felt like we should have won that game. We should have won. Shanti Uber says, Jimmy should have handed the ball off more when they got inside the red zone. I'd have to look at the stats, but Jimmy, I thought he was fine in the red zone. I'm trying to remember because there were some penalties in the red zone. Um, I know Trey Lance came in for some plays, but I think Jimmy threw a pass to Ayuk, and I think Ayuk dropped it, and that's when Trey Lance came in. That was the end of the first half. And Trey Lance came in and ran for a touchdown. And then in the third quarter, I think Jimmy G, I think he threw a pass to Juice Check for a touchdown. I believe. I'm trying to remember, but I think Jimmy played. I think he was solid in the red zone. I'd have to look at the stats to double check, but I think Jimmy was fine in the red zone. I mean, he uh, wasn't terrible. Um, let's see. You have a good night, Bryce, man. You guys earned the win, man. You have a good night. I know you guys are going to enjoy this win, though, for sure. Bayo Time says next week is a big week for the NFC West dysfunctional family. Week 4 is like a family reunion where everyone fights. No, you're right about that, man. You're definitely right about that. Um, yeah, Devontae. I'm looking at the stats. Devontae Adams, 12 catches, 132 yards, one touchdown, 18 targets. I mean, I appreciate that $3 super chat, super sticker, Blue True. I appreciate that. I'm gonna continue on with these comments, but yeah, Rodgers had a good game, 23 of 33, 261 yards, two touchdowns. He was sacked once. Adam Jones, 19 carries, 82 yards, one touchdown. I thought he had a few like maybe 8 to 12 yard runs, but I feel like for the most part we kept him in check. But the Packers still ran for 100 yards, and then of course Devontae Adams. I mean, we just didn't have an answer for him. I don't know. We could have doubled Devontae Adams. I don't know, but we just didn't have an answer for him. And Jimmy threw the ball 40 times. I thought he would throw the ball more, or I thought he would throw the ball more than what he normally did in the first two games. I think he threw for like under 30 times in the first two games. I did think he would throw more, but Jimmy was sacked 4 times, 25 of 40, 257. Trey Sermon had 10 carries for 31 yards with a 3.1 yard per carry. He was the only running back him and Juice Check. I'm not sure why. I guess clearly Shanahan wasn't confident in the other running backs. It was good to see Kittle get involved. Kittle, Debo, and Ayuk, they were involved in the offense. Mohamed Sanu has some catches, but the turnovers definitely hurt us. Um, Armstead had one sack. That's good, but it just wasn't enough. It just wasn't enough. 49ers Ultimate Report says, I'm sorry, Jay. Jimmy was trash today. 2 turnovers, too many bad decision passes without a running game. Jimmy looks really bad. Yeah, I would agree with that. 49ers Ultimate Report also says Jimmy was sacked 3 times also. Yep. And cornerback will be a problem this year. Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what we can do. I mean, any person that's available right now that's not on the team, how can they really help us? It'll be a healthy body, but I don't see it's going to be hard to compete in the NFC West with the corners we have. It's just point blank. It's going to be really hard to compete with the corners we have. I appreciate that 199 super sticker, Shanti Uber. I appreciate that. Uh, Joe Montana came through. What's up, man? He says should have been better coverage on Adams, not only during the game but especially on that last drive. This caused a loss. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what scheme you could put in, but when Rodgers has time to throw, and with the corners we have, Adams just dominated. You know, uh, Adams just dominated. Uh, Mauro Tanaka, what's up, man? He says, well, it's though for sure we almost lost to the Vikings in the same way. The difference was the kicker miss. Yeah, yep. But you guys are 3-0, and you guys got a great game against the Rams coming up. That should be a good game. At least one of you guys will lose. Finally, one of you guys will lose, man. Thanks for coming through, though. My road to Naka. Shanti Uber says, Jay, at the end of the game, it's just 1 week, plenty of season to go. Stay positive, my friend. Yeah, I will try. I think tomorrow I'll be able to. Tomorrow I'll definitely be able to feel a little bit better. But yeah, this one's it was tough to watch. Yeah, Jimmy made some terrible decisions. That fumble definitely hurt. That interception he threw, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but Kittle was open, and Alexander made an excellent play on the ball, and that's what great players do. They make great plays. But yeah, that fumble was terrible. Yeah. Jesus says Jimmy fumble really hurt. I would agree. Joe says time management also. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could have ran the ball to try to get it down a little bit more, but yeah, I guess we'll see. Mauro Tanaka says, yes, sir. See you in week 5. Yeah. Yeah. This was definitely tough. Tough to yeah, because I definitely thought we would come out and win that. You know. We played better in the second half, but we couldn't overcome the penalties and the turnovers. Those were really tough. Um, you know. But yeah, I appreciate everyone coming on. I'll probably will have a live stream tomorrow talking more about the game. And Matt Navarro says, what's up, Jay and the Bay? That secondary was horrendous. Yeah. I mean, but what do you expect? Verrett's out. K'Wan Williams left the game. Josh Norman's out. Um, so who are our healthy corners? What, Lenore, um, Emmanuel Mosley, Drake Kirkpatrick. He's on the practice squad. He'll probably get brought up depending upon the injuries that happen. Um, Dante Johnson. I mean, who else? Let's see, Lenore. Well, there's still Ambry Thomas, but he's basically been a healthy scratch 2 out of 3 weeks. So Ambry Thomas, Lenore, Drake Kirkpatrick, Dante Johnson. I mean, that's pretty much it for the healthy corners. Unfortunately, K'Wan Williams got hurt, and Josh Norman got hurt. So, yeah, man, this is definitely a tough loss. We are 2-1. The season is still young, but this one definitely hurts. This one for sure definitely hurts. And I know we definitely need to address the cornerback position. Uh, I'm not sure what else he can do, what else John Lynch can do at this point, unless he trades for a player. But that has to be an area of focus. And we did draft 3 secondary players in this year's draft, but clearly, clearly we needed to add more. That definitely was not enough. And I know this team has prioritized defensive line, and I know it starts and ends in the trenches, but you need corners too, you know. Matt Navarro says Trey Sermon started off on a sorry note, but began getting a little taste for the red zone. Yeah, I mean Trey Sermon, he looks solid. I don't think this is his best game ever. Hopefully he continues to get better. I'm sure he will, but we couldn't run the ball. We could not run the ball at all, and that definitely hurt the offense. Jerome 43-100 says Packers defense safeties played in the box down low. Jimmy no threat throwing the ball. I mean he did throw. He threw the ball deep. He threw it deep to Kittle. It got picked off. From Jimmy's point of view, it looked like Kittle was open, and then Jair made an excellent play on the ball, and basically he got to the ball first. You know, and also the running game. We couldn't run the ball. That definitely affected the offense, and but we were still in it all the way to the end. We were still in it to the end, and Packers offense at the end of the day, they just made more plays. there's no doubt that Jimmy's turnovers hurt the team for sure. The fumble, the interception. The defense though had some terrible penalties. Um, so, but I guess the excuse is for the defense. There's so many injuries, and they're playing players who normally wouldn't even be in that position. Um, but I appreciate everyone coming through. Most likely, I'll have a live stream tomorrow night. Guess we can go over, the stats or whatever from the game, and maybe I'll have someone else on to gain their perspective. I guess we'll see. But man, this one was a tough loss for sure. Definitely a tough loss. The season is still young. I'm just trying to think. I'm just trying to think, how can we get better? Like, how do we get better at the cornerback position? I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully, K'Wan Williams and Josh Norman's injuries aren't serious. I mean, that's all we can really hope for, because I don't think there's anyone who's a free agent that can really help us at this point. Matt Navarro says you had 37 seconds on the clock, and all you had to do was cover your man, and they couldn't do it. Squishy fish. They should put Trey Lance in. Well, Trey Lance don't play defense, that's for sure. Trey Lance is not going to help on the defensive side of the ball. But who knows? Who knows if Trey Lance was in the game? Who knows if he would have made a difference? We'll really have no idea. I guess you can second guess Kyle Shanahan, but we'll really never know if how Trey Lance would have played in this type of environment. We'll never know. And for some reason, Kyle Shanahan sticks with Jimmy G. He still feels that Jimmy G gives us the best chance to win. And simple as that. But definitely a frustrating loss due to the turnovers and penalties. That's something that we can get better at. Don't turn over the ball, and don't have a lot of excess penalties. That's something we can control. I don't know how we're going to get better at the cornerback position, but Squishy Fish says the 49ers played really well. I thought we played better in the second half for sure, and I thought the defense kept us in the game. You can imagine if we didn't have those penalties, I think that would have been huge for us. But the defense did keep us in the game. Yeah. Sermon, he's not a speedy back. He's not like Mostert. He's not like Mitchell. He's not that. He's not a speedy back. That's not really his game. But yeah, I wasn't impressed with Sermon either. And the Packers had the 5th worst run defense in the NFL coming into this game. They didn't look like it tonight, that's for sure. They did not. They definitely did not look like they had the 5th worst run defense in the league. So I don't know. Offensive line wasn't creating holes. I don't know. Pac-Man Sports says, good game, Jay. It was a tough one. Yeah, man. The Packers, at the end of the day, they made more plays. They deserve to win. And, that's going to be a nice, fly home for the Packers all the way back to Wisconsin. The Packers, at the end of the day, they just made more plays. The 49ers had too many mistakes, the penalties, the turnovers. Jimmy G obviously didn't play his best game. And, it was a very, very, very tough game. But hopefully everyone has a good night, productive week. I think I'm going to end this stream. And, like I said before, I'm not giving any excuses. The Packers deserve this win. They at the end of the day they made more plays when it really counted. And the Niners, we couldn't, we couldn't make stops on defense when we really needed to. Jimmy G and the offense couldn't execute when they had opportunities before them, and that's what happened. That's why the Packers still had time to go down the field and win the game, and that's what they did. Yeah, you have a good night, Sean T. Man. Thanks for tuning in to the stream. I appreciate everyone for coming on to the stream. Thanks, Shanti and Blue Tree, for the super stickers. I appreciate that. And I will probably see you guys, tomorrow. Probably do a live stream tomorrow. And guess we'll dive more into the game. But I appreciate everyone watching Jay in the Bay. And Matt says, where is this Jimmy G in the Super Bowl? I mean, some people will say Jimmy G was terrible in this game. In the first half, I don't know what it is, but with Jimmy, I don't know if he's nervous, in the first quarter, but it seems like he always plays better in the second half but it just seems like the first quarter, they're never able to get into rhythm, the 49ers offense. I know we did against Detroit, but we didn't really do that against, Philly. We struggled in Philly. The defense kept us in the game. We were able to make some plays, against the Eagles. And we were able to make some plays against the Packers too. But, there's a difference between Jalen Hurts and Aaron Rodgers. There's definitely a difference. Squishy Fish says we needed Raheem Mostert. Yeah. I think Sermon, I don't know, he's a rookie, but he doesn't have that burst that Mitchell and Mostert have. That's not his game. Not his fault, but that's just not his game. But yeah, but I appreciate everyone coming on, and we're still 2-1. The season's young. Like Shanti Uber said, you got to stay positive. It's just hard to right now, but yeah. You guys have a good night, productive week, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Faithful then, faithful now. Got to stay positive. 2-1, but I don't know how we're going to get better. I guess we'll get better by the things we can control. Turnovers and penalties. We can control those things. That's how we get better. The cornerback position, hopefully we can get healthy. Go Niners. I'll see you guys in the next.